Alright everyone, in this video I'm going to give you guys the ultimate guide to making beats for somebody like Gunna. As you guys know, Gunna is one of my favorite artists and he has one of the coolest sounds out there. So in this video I'm literally going to break down everything from A to Z, starting with the melody and ending off with the drums. So let's not waste any more time, let's just jump right in. Alright, so we're now here in FL Studio 21 as you guys can see. First things first, we want to make sure we switch the BPM. So when it comes to the Gunna type of sound, you want to go for something in between 120 to 140, or if you're going for a more faster pace type of thing, you can bump it up to like 165, but usually something like 120 125 is pretty much key. So let's just adjust this down to something like 123. Now from here, what we want to do is obviously open up a VST. As you guys know, Gunna is like super well known for his guitar beats, so we're obviously going to be using some sort of guitar VST. Now if you guys know me, my favorite guitar VST is obviously the Nylon Sky guitar over here in Omnisphere. That's the one we're going to be using in this case, just a clean preset right there. So once we have that open, all you want to do is actually pick a scale. When it comes to the Gunna type of scale, I highly recommend going for something like C or C sharp, or something like E, A, or A sharp. Those are usually like always go to Gunna type of keys. Now in this case, since I already have it opened up on C sharp, let's just go with that. Okay, so I want to make this stupidly simple for you guys. So I'm literally just going to walk you guys through step by step. Since we are in the C sharp scale, we're obviously going to start off with a C note right there. Now when I say I want to make this simple, it's not just to overcomplicate things for you guys. So make a normal triad, which means you skip the next highlighted note, we go to E, then we skip again, and we go to G sharp right there. Now from here, super importantly, is we don't want to just keep this triad. We want to invert the middle note up one octave, so it's going to be on the E5 instead of the E4. What this does is just like extends out the keys a little bit, gives you more of the higher frequencies as well, while still keeping like the chord going. So again, to keep things simple, just to kind of walk you guys through what I'm actually going to be doing, is we're going to have one note right here and one note down here. We can shorten these two, but this is basically going to be our chord progression going downwards. So C sharp, B, the A, and then we're just kind of gonna do the same thing back over here again. But before we start doing that, let's just actually like finish off the first chord, and then we can go for the second chord and the third chord. So when I say finish off the first chord, what I mean by that is we don't want to be having all of these hitting at the same exact time, because that's just gonna sound weird, especially with the VST. So what that means is that we want to extend these out a little bit like this, not too much since we want it to kind of be pacey, but still just have some sort of movement in this. So from here, what we can actually do is we can have these two hit at the same time, but we would just want to make sure it's slightly off grid. So you can highlight this, hold Alt on your keyboard and move it slightly to the side, just to give it more of a realistic type of feel. Now from here, again, like we talked about, we want some more movement. So let's just slice this top note up right here. So you can see the chord progression is going to go downwards like I talked about earlier, but in this case, to start off with, we're going to have it go upwards like this. That's kind of the sauce right there. Now from here, let's slice this middle note a little bit again, and we can add some sort of filler note towards the end. So we can have something like this. That's basically perfect as a first chord right there. Now, like I said, we're going to build a little bit off of this, have them go downwards, but just to keep things simple, what you can literally do is just copy this over and pitch it down by 2 semitones. Now you just want to keep like the first part of it going, because we don't want to have the same exact thing. But as you can see, these notes right here are not in key, so let's just pitch them up. That's kind of why we added the filler note right there as well, just so it's in line with everything right here. Now, like I said, we're going to have the second part go down again, so we can basically just slice this up and then delete everything from here. Now again, we don't want to have these hitting all at the same time, or at the same note, excuse me. So let's just switch it up a little bit. I'm going to pitch this down to the C sharp, so it's basically the same from right here, and then we can have this one pitched up to B this time. So the first two parts would sound something like this, and then we finish off with the cool little third part right there, where we kind of just go down yet again. So again, the easiest way to do this is just copy the first 3 notes from the second part and pitch it down by 2 semitones. This is basically exactly what I want. Only thing we might do is just extend a little bit of these notes just to keep more flow throughout the whole melody, and then we can even just add a little bit of a note right there. So that's pretty much perfect right there for the first part. If we just copy that over, you can hear the full thing. So you can do some micro adjustments here and there on the second part as well, just so it's not too repetitive. But that's basically the gist of it, just to give you guys the full guide right there. So what I did right here was just again add a few filler notes here and there, and I also just adjusted the velocity so we don't have the same exact thing over and over again. Again, just giving you more of that realistic type of feel. Copy that over. Perfect, so that's literally how simple it is to create those Gunna guitar melodies. Now from here, we obviously need to add some effects to this guitar just so it sounds a little bit better, because if you guys know the typical Gunna type of sound, it's super wavy, super atmosphere around it. So what we're gonna do is make sure we add some effects to give us that atmosphere. Now I already have a preset in, but main effects when it comes to this is really just adding a lot of reverb. So my main reverb that I use is this Rome reverb right here. Just standard settings at 12%, really gives you that spacious type of vibe. You can also add a little bit of delay, just use the ping pong effect, and also make sure to just cut out the low end from the guitar because we're gonna be adding a bass later on anyway. So with the effects on, we should have this right here. Okay, perfect. So now that we have that guitar melody down, all you want to do now is add a lot of accents to this. So if you guys hear those Gunna guitar type of beats, they usually have a lot of accents, a lot of atmosphere going on in the background as well. So to add this, we just want to add some ear candy here and there throughout the guitar melody, just to spice things up a little bit. So in my opinion, the easiest way to add this is just to add a few sounds here and there that sound super drowned out. So if you can find them, you can use different loops, or you can just make them yourself and EQ the shit out of them. So what I did was I just opened up this cool little Afro pop right here in Arcade, and I found this cool little vocal type of sound. It almost sounds a little bit ethnic, which is like super nice for the Gunna type of vibe. Now, like I said, you want to make sure you drown this out a lot. So we want to keep this as some sort of ear candy accent type of thing. So to do that, if you don't know how to, basically you want to do just like add a bunch of reverb first, like 40 to 50%. And then the next thing you can do, if you have RC20, you can just do the magnitude transition 1 preset. And to filter out the sound a lot, you want to open up an EQ and just cut a lot of the high end out. So if we take a listen to it now, you should see that it almost sounds like some sort of pad in the background basically. That's pretty much perfect right there. Now we want to build a little bit more off of this, have something that is a little bit more present as well. So what I'm going to do is open up Analog Lab 5, and I'm going to go over to my Horizon Multi-Kit preset bank right here. And I have this super cool little preset called Drown, which is just like some plucked keys right there. So we just want to add a little bit of an accent again with these plucked keys from the bank. So when I'm talking about accents, I'm again keeping it stupidly simple. It's literally just 3 notes going downwards like this. It's again just more so putting it in the right places. And then again, you just want to use those same effects to drown out the sound. Maybe add a little bit of delay as well, just to give it some more space. Now you can hear it's pretty much perfect. Okay, so this is really starting to heat up now, but I still feel like we need a proper counter melody to this, which is really just going to differentiate from the first part of the hook to the second part of the hook. And if you know Gunna, what better way to do it than add some sort of flute? So to add a flute, what I'm going to do is actually just going to try to find a flute loop that we can use, so we don't have to make the flute ourselves, because we want that super authentic and realistic sounding flute. So to find that flute, all I did was I just went to Splice and searched up flutes. First one I found was this right here. So perfectly authentic, catchy sounding flute. All you want to do is obviously just time stretch it correctly, hit it with the next one, and then just again blend that sound in. If you want that Gunna sound, you need the reverb, you need a dreamy vibe. So make sure to just do the same thing, EQ, Rome, and it should blend in perfectly. This is exactly what we're going for. Perfect. So with that being laid down, literally all we need now is just a little bit of a bass, some accents, and that should pretty much be it for the sample. So when it comes to the bass, again, what we can do is just open up Analog Lab 5, and in my Horizon multi-bank right here, I do have a perfect sounding bass. It's literally this low end bass right here. I think this is gonna fit perfectly with the rest of the melody. All we want to do is just put it on the root notes. That's exactly what we want right there. Alright, so if you guys are getting a lot of help and value off this video, and you're starting to make good quality beats, but you don't really know how to make money as a music producer, I am actually helping out a couple guys one-on-one moving forward. So if you guys care about not only making better beats, but actually also starting to make some serious cash as a music producer, you can click the link for an application to book a call with me. Obviously, I'm not working with everybody. It is pretty serious and application only, but if it's actually something you're super serious about and want to become a full-time music producer, then just check out the application, see if you can find a time with me. I'll personally jump on, see if we can help you out moving forward and take things from there. If you just want to stick to the videos, that's fine as well, no worries. Let's jump into the drums. Okay, cool. So when it comes to the drums, we're gonna keep these ones super simple, especially with these Gunna guitar beats. You don't really want to overcomplicate too much with the drums because the melody is already kind of riding the whole beat. The drums are going to be very simple, but all the drums I'm using are also from the Horizon multi-kit. Since you already saw the Analog Lab bank, but I also have a drum kit, MIDI pack, portal bank, and a sample pack within the whole kit. So you can also check that out. Link is in the description. So let's just see what we can start off with. Let's just have one hit on the first hit right there. And we're just going to start in with the claps to get that bounce. Perfect. For the hi-hats, just drag one in, and again, don't overcomplicate it. We're literally just gonna go over to the MIDI pack right there, add in one of the hi-hat MIDIs. Next thing is gonna be rims right here. I'm looking for something that sounds like a snare and a rim at the same time. Something like this mixed one is pretty cool. That's clean. Now let's lay that open out with a kick. Last thing we want to do now is obviously just add that 808 on top of that kick. Alright, so that's pretty much the beat finished. Before we take a final listen, again, like I said guys, if you actually want to start making some money off of music production and do it as a full-time thing, I am going to be helping a few of you guys one-on-one. You can check the first link down below to book a call with me. We'll see what we can do, sort some sort of plan out for you. So if you care about it, check it out. But with that being said, let's take a final listen.